Hey everybody, and welcome to another RCT2 review. Today we're looking at Saika by Sammy. This is a new design winner on New Element. I'm relatively certain I'm pronouncing Saika incorrectly, but it is Arabic for lightning strike. We've got this pretty nice sort of Arab market influenced architecture throughout. So this is a no custom scenery park, but we have the new ride elements on the Vekoma or the looping coaster track, I suppose, and there's a couple other kind of fun bits throughout here with some of the new color options as well, like the void color and the invisible color. But first, let's take a look at the coaster layout, since that is what we're mainly focused on here. So here we go with this great kind of vertical twisting drop into this half zero half corkscrew element. A nice little dive underneath the pathway here into this big loop, sunk down in there, kind of Montu-esque vibes. Nice interaction with the monorail here. Another one of these half cork, half roll situations. Full corkscrew right here. And then we have a diagonal tunnel cover with no custom scenery. This kind of final helix here as we hit up to the brakes. So pretty cool layout, actually, and I like how it interacts with a lot of things. Some clearance is maybe a little bit suspect, perhaps, but I really like the interaction with everything. I love how this interacts with the monorail just throughout this entire space here. You know, underneath, over, all throughout the whole thing. Really, really well done on the whole. I think that's weaves its way throughout the space really well. All this little arch, things like that. And then, like I said, this diagonal tunnel is great, hidden in the appropriate spots. And even in this angle, you know, it just kind of looks like it's, you know, a dark tunnel using that void texture, which I think is a pretty clever way to go about it. So as far as architecture goes, very, you know, pretty straightforward architecture, but done in a very nicely layered and detailed way. Our station has this great sort of water garden out here on the far end, so it winds its way all the way around underneath the coaster here through some of these little buildings. Has this great garden, water and the lilies and everything, and then boarding over here on this side. Here's our entrance too, very nice together. Again, that coaster is interacting with pretty much everything, so just the entrance coming through here into the park, great little viewing space here. These sunken Roman walls acting as kind of curbing throughout the whole space. This is a pretty clever detail here. So this is, let's turn on our toolbars real quick. This is a wooden fence, but it's done with the invisible texture. So you turn on the rest of the fence, and it's actually the whole wall, but instead, now we just have these window elements with the invisible nature of the object. So super cool, love that detail. Done very, very nicely. This little complex is cool because you've got the forward-facing, guest-facing buildings, like here. You've got your couple of little simulator building here, and then you've also got just this kind of space here in the front, but then it's also being used as the element with the coaster. So we got this underneath section here through the middle as well, and then you've also have this nice pathway bridge across where the loop comes through. Nice custom supports, by the way. We're remiss if I didn't point those out using the RMC track. I think those are quite nice. Also the lift here with the RMC track as well. I think that's incredibly well done. I can tell you the one time that I did NCSO supports, they sucked and it was really difficult to do it. So it gives me a newfound appreciation for these done well, and well done, just in general. I think that was done quite nicely. I do like the landscaping here, nice and lush. Got a good mix of greenery throughout the whole space, and a great mix of trees. You know, this is the sort of thing you need to make sure when you're doing landscaping is you're using a whole nice variety of trees. And granted, we've got our tropical nature of palms and things here, but there's just so much more. You know, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, at least different kinds of plants and trees, and then some of these lower bushes as well. This looks really great in general. Love these fountains and all this kind of architecture throughout the whole space. This is great up here at the end, a couple diagonal archways, and then also here on the front, also with the playing cards for signage as well. Got this whole market throughout this whole space. You go invisible here. Called the Palace restaurant here, so there's all different elements there, using the classic trick here of the lily pad inside the seating area as well. That's a nice look for dining space throughout the whole space. And I do like how the sort of randomly covered sections here, so it's not like the whole thing is covered, but it's just sort of this tasteful coverage throughout the whole space. Then of course we have our water ride here, which is pretty impressive. I'm actually a really big fan of this water ride. I think this looks great. So we got our station up here underneath below, and we're gonna pop out the side here into this kind of pit almost, filled with water. Got this nice waterfall coming down through here, all these reeds and things coming up. You can see the ride track underneath, and we hit this first lift hill, thankfully using the coaster track, so we're a little quicker up the lift than the standard one. Through this little building here, part of the station overall. Love this bridge. Like, this bridge works really well with the layered wooden coaster track here, and the nets, just all done incredibly well. You don't really see bridges on water rides done very much or very well, and to me this one just works incredibly nicely. Sets up for this kind of great view. I think it'd be very neat to be standing here looking basically through this one at the drop on the other side. So done well through the whole thing. But big lift up all the way here, long lift. We got our maintenance area here and the sort of the mechanics and back of house type things. Buried rapids track. We have coming around, see the rail throughout the whole thing. Lovely gardens, looks great. Crossing underneath the lift here, and then wrapping up for this whole thing as well. But one of the other very cool elements here is the train here going in circles. Very clever way to do smoke. Train with a couple of cars and just cruising around in there, so it's a little no custom scenery trick. I appreciate. Lots of little details here, like the maintenance truck coming through. I'm not entirely sure how many parks would appreciate a vehicle driving through during the middle of the day, but I guess I've been to a couple myself. I do like this cauldron with the flowers on top for the flower pot. Same with the brick here, and then just some of the fun use of things like the shuttlecock here for a merchandiser display, and other elements such as the treasure chest. And these stacked benches was a new one for me. I hadn't really seen that before, I don't think, but I thought that was done pretty well. Kind of a neat touch throughout the whole thing. It seems like this coaster almost always interacts with this monorail, and maybe it's just because the coaster comes so often and the monorail doesn't come terribly often, but it does a really great job of it. Pretty much every time I see the monorail here, this ride is interacting with it. So very cool. Would have been kind of neat to see custom supports on this whole thing, but I can understand that'd be a mess as well, and pretty consistent, so it's not like you really need a whole lot of it through the whole thing. But lots of great little details. There's tons of no custom scenery tricks that you can pick up on. I pointed out a few here, but I would recommend you spend some more time in here and see what else you can find, because there's a lot of little fun details throughout the whole space, and I think that's done very nicely. So I will post a link to the download for this in the video description, and hopefully you can take a look and let me know what you think in the comments. If there's any particular ones that you would like to check out, or you'd like me to check out, then let me know in the comments as well. So we'll hope to see some future ones here, and hope you enjoyed this one today. Until next time, we will see you in the next video, so bye now.